Introduction and a slight review on the Branson 2515H. I got the skid steer pallet forks for it. I already blew a hole in it for a ball. Got a bucket with it. I got the plate coming that's going to go up here. It gives you a couple different attachment points. There's a small critique. There's no hooks or anything up here to lift stuff with. So, and the bucket, let's see, yeah, this side's pretty decent on welds. This side's got some imperfect. Of course, that's what I do for a living, you know. So, it's pretty good. It's fine. But it makes me want to, and it's just a black basic bucket, which makes me think that just some kind of, Branson probably doesn't make it, and it's kind of just outsourced, some Chinese thing. Even though I know the tractor itself is Korean. I'm not saying it is, or it isn't Chinese bucket, but it kind of seems like it's just kind of a no-name, cheap, black bucket. But some imperfections, but looks overall fine. The tractor I got with a backhoe and third function valve. I got an auger coming. Haven't got to try it out yet. Hope to soon. A grapple would be nice as well. I've already encountered a few times where a grapple would have been just wonderful, and I didn't have it. So one of those in the near future would be also pretty nice. Another critique, I do want to get the pads, the rubber pad. That's not the brand's fault though. I do love the 16-inch bucket I got for it. One critique about it is I don't like how these outriggers protrude outside of the footprint of the tractor, which is a little over 5 feet, by the way, from rear tire to rear tire. Let's see, I owned a Kubota BX 2200, and I've operated lots of equipment, but another tractor I operated was the John Deere 1023R, and a much smaller tractor, but the outriggers went to a full 90 degree, and it didn't protrude, and it was something you just left on there, and you didn't, want to mess with. I haven't pulled this one off yet, but I read everything about it and researched it and how to pull it off. Seems really pretty easy. So I do like that. That's easy to come off, because it adds about an extra 7 foot to the back here, which is a bit. Of course, if you're in the middle of a field somewhere working, does it matter? No. And then this extra weight, it just feels good. It's just a good thing to have back here when you're lifting stuff, whatever, as a good counterweight. But I'm gonna use this a lot in customers' yards, so that's what I'm thinking is, well, if I don't need the backhoe, I should bring it off before I go into their yard. The tractor weighs 3,000 pounds, the loader weighs 1,000, and the backhoe weighs somewhere around 1,000. I found the BH 250, and it was like 1,300 pounds, so I think it's safe to say this thing's 1,000. So we're at 5,000 pounds somehow with this thing, which is, with weight, with tractors, it's what you want typically. I will say there's some trails over there. I've been driving through my yard a bit with it, doing a lot of work, but it's really been fine. It does weigh a bit more than the Kubota was, like 2,200 pounds, but then you have a lot more surface area with the tires too, so evens out just fine, I think, so far. And of course, I could drop this for an extra 1,000 off, but generally speaking, you want it on there. Plus, I've been doing a lot of stuff with it too, so been pretty cool. One critique about it is the seat for the backhoe. So what I did is, you could see that it's supposed to be, the furthest it's supposed to go back is to here, or yeah, basically. Or maybe you could see just a little bit, maybe, but I have it back an extra 2 inches. I re-drilled, so the holes in here, I'd re-drill 2 holes back here, put a washer on one of those, left the other one just whatever, to put it back. Because that's one thing I noticed when I first got on it. I went, holy crap, there's no room. You're just crunched up. Your knees are in your chest almost. And you have plenty of room. So we have another probably 3 inches, I'd say. No problem. And that's after I moved it back 2 additional inches that weren't there. But after I did that, it feels relatively comfortable now. So that's their critique. People on the group, the Branson group, are talking about, well, it's for the cabbed models, or so they don't, they don't go far back because of the cab. Well, this isn't a cab tractor, and they don't, really want a cab tractor. So You know, why doesn't it just have more adjustment? You know, that's all. It actually has two forms. It has right here, and then the holes for the seat. So if this would have had a couple more, you know, like a longer bracket with a couple more holes, or if this would have been a bigger plate with a few more, whatever, something like that would be great. Oh, and I did see when I pulled this seat off, it did say made in China, so that's interesting. I don't know about that seat. Doesn't say. But anyway, oh, and this tractor was bought at the tractor yard in Coweta, Oklahoma. They were great. Answered a million questions for me. Oh, another have a modification here. Added a cup holder. It's a magnetic cup holder. You can get on Amazon. So there you go. Because it doesn't have one, but not a big deal. Another critique is the shifter here. First off, here, let me go around to it to show you. It's not in one, you know, gear 1, 2, 3, whatever. It's in gear A, B, C. It's kind of weird, and there's a neutral. So this sticks up just enough where if it's back here in C, which is your, it's like gear 3, it's out of the way completely. If it's up here in first gear, getting in this thing, it's in your way, and it hits on your leg. But in 2, it's kind of on your thigh. So if this was just a little bit shorter, that would be just amazing. That'd be great. Let's see. PTO I haven't messed with because I don't need it. 4-wheel drive's down here and your diff lock is down here. I've tried the 4-wheel drive a couple times. It seems to do fine. But I don't really need it that often because this thing weighs 5,000 flipping pounds. So good traction. Plus, obviously, brand new tires. So, I don't know. The forks have been fine. Again, those are probably more of a generic. I didn't see a brand on them, but they were great so far. I like the rack and everything. I do like the level indicator. That's so nice. I've never had that on a tractor before. This is my 3rd tractor, but I think it's a really good value. So the Kubota L series, the 2501 with a backhoe and forks, just like this tractor, was $13,000 more. And I don't know about you, but I'd like to have an extra 13 grand and the tractor that's just actually more capable, you know, than not. So the front end loader, another big selling point, it lifts 2,200 flipping pounds at full height. So will it lift maybe more than that, you know, 2,300, 2,400 pounds, something like that, just lower to the ground? I'm sure it will, which is incredible. I looked up the Deere last night, the 3025, and it was like 1,400 pounds. That's it. This thing's incredible. I mean, the capacity. I can't remember the Kubota off the top of my head, but I know it's not anywhere near the 2,200 pounds. So that's another big thing. Lifts up a bunch of beams and stuff when I'm welding or whatever. Move equipment around, pallets. I have a plethora of trailers, but one over here I usually moved with my little Kubota, and it was in a weird spot, and I was able just to reach over there with a fork for this thing and just pick the whole thing up like it was a toy and move it, the entire thing. So like nothing. Like it's, yeah. So, oh, and they had one at display while I was there. They had a bale of hay on the rear and then one on the front, and it would lift both of them and be fine. So it'd be good for feeding cattle and stuff like that. But I don't need it for that either, but you know, it is cool. It'll just show you the capabilities that it has. Oh, it has cruise control too. One other cool thing about it. So this button right here, it works just like in your car. So you press down on your pedal and you find a speed that you like, you hit the button, and then you get off the pedal and you're cruising. It'd be amazing for brush hogging. I could see it for a finish mower, or for brush hogging would be just amazing. It'd be great. So I could see that. The lights are fine, has a horn. Let's see, the indicator right here, this is to turn left and right. I think that protrudes a bit, and I think that'll get broken fairly easily. So I don't really prefer that, but that's what you got, so not a big deal. But you know, I did see another cool thing about this is, like, there's your oil fill and your oil filter, and then your fuel filter are right there next to each other. you know. So that's what you get when you get Cummins to design an engine for you. So pretty awesome.